Alright, what's going on everyone? Today we're talking about a surprise announcement by Wizards of the Coast. They announced a new format called Pioneer. So the idea behind this format is that it's a non-rotating format like Modern, but it's significantly smaller. It starts with Return to Ravnica forward, so it basically cuts off the first decade of Modern. So it massively shrinks the card pool, and it will hopefully give us a new non-rotating format that isn't just a completely degenerate cluster that Modern is, like 75% of the time. The format will have paper tournaments in the future, but it's going straight to Magic Online almost immediately, depending on when you're watching this. It's probably already up. I believe it is the 23rd of October. I'm recording this on the 22nd of October, so tomorrow. So yeah, it's very soon for Magic Online players, and they're mostly doing this for testing purposes. Basically, us Moto players are going to stress test the format. It's going to be like the Wild West. There's not much of a ban list. It's going to be crazy. I don't recommend spending a bunch of money on the format because things are probably going to get banned. It's probably going to be super broken at first because this is just like a completely relatively untested format. I would imagine they ran some tests, but it's not going to be like when you have thousands of players testing it. People are going to find broken stuff, and that's the point. It's basically straight to Magic Online. We're going to stress test it. We're going to see how broken it is, and then Wizards will be able to cultivate a ban list so that when it goes into paper, it's not going to be just an absolute disaster, which seems pretty good. It means I get to have fun with it right away, and it won't be, it'll be honed down and, hopefully somewhat stable by the time it gets to paper. So I genuinely feel that this is a great thing. Don't get me wrong, I love Modern. In fact, it's my favorite format. I play it more than any other format in Magic. This channel is named after a Modern deck. Yeah, I like Modern. Modern's great. But it is, at least over the past few years, it's gotten super degenerate. It seems like every, set that's released, it gets broken, and then it takes a few months to fix it, and then it gets broken again, and there's so much power. Modern is a format where the decks are like two freight trains running into each other at full steam, and it just gets crazier and crazier, and I love it, but Magic has really lacked a non-rotating competitive format that just has a lower barrier of entry. And maybe this will be it. Maybe this will be finally a format that players who, when their standard deck, like new players, when their standard deck gets, rotated out and they're on the verge of quitting, which usually that's what happens, that's what causes players to quit, is they get into standard and then their deck rotates, and then it's like, well, okay, I guess I don't want to play anymore. We've always needed a format for people to transition, and in the early days of Magic, we actually had that in the form of extended, but we don't really have that anymore. Modern doesn't really work because the format is so powerful that standard decks don't really correlate to Modern, so we do need a format to kind of bridge the gap. And yeah, maybe this will help, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I'll talk about that a little bit more, but it could be the thing. I don't know. But the best part about it is fetch lands come pre-banned, and this is fantastic. Fetch lands are not good for the game. Don't get me wrong, they're amazing. They're the best lands in existence, probably. Fetches and shocks make for, basically perfect mana bases, but they allow decks to have 2 perfect mana, and they're also very expensive, and neither of these things are good for, entry-level players and new players. When newer players and standard players look at the price of Modern decks, they typically bulk because, they're like $1,000, and that's not good. So having fetch lands out, that will drastically reduce the cost of, mana bases. Although I will say that I did see a Twitter post by Aaron Forsyth on Twitter saying that the fetches might get unbanned. I seriously hope not. I either hope that they aren't banned or that they're printed to a point where they're actually affordable. And the Concept Hero ones aren't terrible. They're like $20 each. That's still way too much, but it's better than the enemy colored ones where they're like $50 to $100 each. It's just, I don't know, it's not good. I just don't like it. I get that there has to be expensive cards, but expensive mana bases doesn't result in like enthusiastic players. People don't want to spend $300 on a mana base, and if that's going to be in Pioneer, then it's not going to be a whole lot better than Modern, really. But fortunately, they are banned right now, and hopefully they stay banned, and the format is actually looking like it's going to be very cheap. I've seen some people saying the format is going to be just as expensive as Modern, but that seems like complete nonsense. If you're newer to the game, I assume the people who are naysayers are either just constantly pessimistic or maybe they're just a little bit newer, but let me teach you something here. Return to Ravnica marks like a new era in how Wizards of the Coast printed sets, and these sets, every single set that you see on the screen, were printed into oblivion. These sets are like investors' night, not all of them, but most of them are investors' nightmares. They're so bad. They were printed, in massive quantities, and because of that, there is just a ton of the this stuff on the market, and there aren't a lot of expensive cards in this format. And by the way, before I move on, if you are an investor, this will actually improve the prices of those boxes because it will drive up demand for these oversaturated cards, and it will make your investments in those, those Theros boxes a little bit more lucrative because, it hasn't been terribly great. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, the most expensive cards in the format right now that aren't standard legal are Ugin, Liliana, and Monastery Mentor. Ugin is floating around $40 each, but that's because he's played in Modern Tron. But Liliana and Mentor are both in the $20 range, and that's cheaper than the top end of Standard, where Oko is currently at $60 each, and it's not even close to Modern, where cards like Jace and Mox Opal and Renin 6 can go well over $100. When your top end, most expensive cards are, $20, obviously $20 for a piece of cardboard is a lot, but when that's the top, when that's the highest that it gets, it's not really that bad. I mean, it means that, your average deck is going to be much, much cheaper than Modern and probably close to Standard, maybe a little bit more expensive than Standard, but, you're going to have very cheap entry costs if that's the top end. And obviously these will go up. If this format does take off, these prices will go up as, there will be more demand. But right now it's looking pretty good. And if these prices stay at least somewhat close to where they are now, deck prices aren't going to be too terrible. And we still have that safety net that these sets are just overprinted to hell, and there's lots of it sitting around. So that's good for everyone. And then there are the mana bases. Like I mentioned earlier, no fetches means that the best lands in the format are likely to be shock lands and fast lands, maybe ping lands and check lands as well. But shock lands and fast lands, if these are the best lands in the format, then that means that mana bases aren't going to be too crazy. Shock lands do run currently like $10 to $15 or so. I believe the cheaper ones that were in challenger decks are like in the $6 to $7 range, and the higher ones are in the $15 to $16 range, which sucks, but it's not terrible. And the fast lands from Kaladesh are all like $2 to $4 each. I don't normally buy cards that I don't need. I'm just chronically cheap, but I actually bought a full playset of all of the Kaladesh fast lands just because they're so cheap and they're really good. They're good in Modern. They're 100% playable in Modern. So I was like, I'm just going to grab all of those because they're so cheap, and that's going to pay off now because these are definitely going to be the best lands in this format, I would imagine. I mean, they're playable in Modern, so they're going to be playable in Pioneer for sure. So yeah, it's not that bad. And remember, by the way, that when I'm talking about these numbers, when I'm talking about, having to spend $4 each on a land, it sounds like a lot, but remember, this is a non-rotating format. So you spend $16 on a playset of, Concealed Courtyards because you really like to play black and white, and that means every single black and white deck you build for the rest of forever is going to have an amazingly good mana base that you only had to pay $16 for. That's the benefit of playing non-rotating formats. In Standard, you can spend $50 on a mana base and you get to play it for a few months, and then some of it rotates out, and then it's not good, and those cards, crash in price because they're not played in Standard, and then that's that. But we're talking about a $16 investment for a playset of fast lands that will make your mana bases better literally forever. That's the beauty of non-rotating formats. That's why every experienced player like myself always say, play non-rotating formats, play Modern, play Commander, play Pauper, because when you buy cards in those formats, the cards are good forever, not like in Standard where you're constantly just, throwing money down the drain because you buy the cards and then they're useless, and you buy more cards and then those are useless, and then you buy more cards. And at least when you're, when you're buying Modern cards, even if you build a new deck every year like you do in Standard, if you buy cards and buy cards and buy cards, you're just accumulating cards that you can always use forever. And then when you want to build a new deck, you have, a stockpile of cards that are still usable, unlike in Standard where your collection is just constantly made useless. So yeah, non-rotating formats are fantastic, and this looks like it's going to be a somewhat cheap one. Obviously nowhere near as cheap as Pauper, but it's looking pretty cool. I do have one big complaint about the format. I have one negative thing to say. Everything I have to say about this is positive. I think it's fantastic. I have one complaint. The announcement article did state that the original intent of Modern was to provide a non-rotating format that you could continue to play your Standard deck in. They said that's no longer true for Modern, which is correct. You can't play Standard decks in Modern. There's no way you can ever take a Standard deck and, okay, fine. Yes, you could do that with Is a Phoenix. It does happen, fine, fair, but most of the time, 99.999% of the time, you cannot, take your Standard deck into Modern and have any chance at all of, competing. But the thing is, I don't think this is going to be true for this format either. I really don't think you'll be able to play your Standard deck in this format. The power level is still looking like it's going to be way too high, so the logic seems a little bit flawed to me. If they want to create a non-rotating format where people can still play their Standard decks, they should either bring back Extended or consider a bring your own standard format where like every standard legal deck ever is legal, but you can't like mix sets or whatever. Like, you know, if you played in Return to Ravnica and Theros, then your Return to Ravnica and Theros standard deck is legal. And also if someone else played in Kaladesh and Amonkhet, then your Kaladesh and Amonkhet standard deck is legal, and you know, your Lorwyn and Time Spiral deck is legal. Basically every standard deck is legal throughout history, but they can't like get cards from other sets, so that you can play standard when it's standard, and then you can take it into like the gauntlet of standard in the form of a bring your own standard format. That would be a lot better if the goal is to make your standard decks playable forever. This isn't gonna do it, I don't think. So anyway, that's a minor complaint. I don't want to drag this video out too long. All I want to say is this format actually does sound super sweet, and I'm actually looking forward to brewing in it. I haven't done a Magic Online series for a while on this channel, but Pioneer might get me to finally get back into one, so if you've been waiting for that for months now, this might do it. I definitely want to brew some Pioneer decks, and maybe I'll be playing those. So look forward to Pioneer content in the future. It'll be a little while. I still have 2 Challenger deck upgrades to do. If you've been waiting for the United Assault and Deadly Discovery decks, those are coming. I'm hoping United Assault will be out in a couple days, and Deadly Discovery will be out hopefully by the weekend-ish. No guarantee, but hopefully the weekend, or you know, Monday-ish. And then after that I have the gameplay videos for the Throne of Eldraine Planeswalker decks. I haven't even recorded those. I need to do that. And people have been asking for rotation updates for Core 2020 Planeswalker decks. Yeah, I'll consider doing those as well. And then after that, maybe some Pioneer content, because I want to play some Pioneer. It looks super fun. I'm excited for it. And if you're not excited for it, then you can just watch me play and not spend your own money. So there you go. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just gameplay, right? Doesn't matter. Everyone wins. Absolutely. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have to say, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.